But if you ever want to see a very funny Michael Clark Duncan, people must, because shortly after this he worked with Bruce Willis again in Whole Nine Yards. So people must have loved having that dude on set.
He's a good yo.
Well,
Strike
he was with Affleck in Daredevil as well, wasn't he?
Oh wow!
Yeah. He played the Kingpin, and he was solid. He was he was one of the best parts of that movie. He was good. Farrell was good.
Yeah. Oh man, I love Bullseye because that's one of the most unhinged performances I've ever seen. He kills an old lady with a peanut. Like this is what it's kind of a brutal role.
And he is insane like that in the comic books, man. The panel where he stabs Elektra is brutal in the comics. The sai comes out of her back, but it doesn't go through the fabric. So it just kind of looks like it's gross. There's no blood, but it's unbelievably violent, man.
Wake me up.
Yeah.
Save me. Remember her training montage where she fills up bags of sand on a pulley system?
That's the part I didn't like in that movie.
You know, I did the math on that, and I figured out the rig that she would have had to have done on the ceiling and the amount of sand that she would have had. She set it on a timer and knew exactly where they were going to be. And that's a wood floor she's throwing that stuff on. That's a lot of cleanup.
That was the part that I couldn't get down with those two, but I believe you.
All right, so how about this? Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we will talk more Armageddon. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And have you two researched the Aerosmith song?
Yeah.
So it was based on Barbra Streisand. So let's see.
Diane Warren.
Diane Warren. She heard Barbra Streisand saying, like, I don't want to close my eyes because I'll miss you, when Brolin and Barbra Streisand. And then she writes it, and then she brought in Aerosmith to sing it, and she said it was just magic. But this album, in the States, it went 4 times platinum. It sold 4 million albums. This song was everywhere, Norbert. I mean, everywhere. In '98, this song was everywhere. Gigantic.
I believe you. This was as I sent you the YouTube video before. This was my karaoke staple at the Waikiki Lounge in New York back in the day. Don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to miss a thing. But kind of like how I was mad at Joss Whedon for a long time for ruining the Alien series with Alien Resurrection. I got mad at Diane Warren for putting lyrics in a Star Trek TV show for Enterprise. Faith of the Heart. It's just bad because it's just treacle.
That is so bad. That is so bad.
I got faith of the heart. Makes my skin crawl. It's just treacle.
But this song though, right? I mean, you have Steven Tyler just belting this song. I mean, it's like in '98 a power love ballad like this was not. It was quite rare in '98. I mean, in '98 at this time we had what, like Limp Bizkit, Backstreet Boy, like that. Like who was big in '98? Like we didn't have big pop power ballads.
No, like that was Aerosmith's first straight to #1 song as well. It's the first time they'd gone straight in top of the charts.
Wow. And I think it's just such a, I don't know, I guess when you tie a song to a movie, and I mean, this song, you know why this song came along? It's because of Titanic. Like, so, also the AJ...
I heard it was because of Godzilla.
So, I have oh gosh, that was a huge soundtrack too. Like, I would love to do an entire...
That's why they have a soundtrack. It basically is because Godzilla had a soundtrack and the album did ridiculously well. So they were just like, we need to make a soundtrack. Right, we need more songs. Let's just throw more Aerosmith at it.
You know what? You are right. Bay explained to the producer that he heard Godzilla was going to have a full soundtrack and Armageddon didn't. So then, oh wow, yeah. So then he went out and did it. I was wrong. I thought it was because of Titanic.
Yeah, but then you wanted
Titanic's the reason for the love story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Titanic and then Billy Bob Thornton got cut out.
Cutting out Billy Bob. Titanic's the reason for the love story. But then you have the soundtracks, right? So which is the worst song? I Don't Want to Miss a Thing or Puff Daddy featuring Jimmy Page, Come With Me?
See, I love that riff so much. Like, that sample from Kashmir is just awesome.
And he performed it live on SNL, I remember.
He performed it live in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It was disturbing after a while.
And Jacob Dylan's cover of Heroes was very flat. I remember I bought that album. I want to spend an entire episode just talking about the promotion for Godzilla because that was.
We can do that.
Like the Taco Bell Norbert. Remember the guy fishing? Like that was like one of the first teaser trailers.
Even in Armageddon, like, was it a less than subtle nod where they had the dog attacking the Godzilla, like, little toys in the beginning?
$1,000 a day they spent training that dog to attack Godzilla.
Who the hell? I heard it was like the dog was already specifically trained for this, and this was just hiring. It's like, who the hell decides? Right, this is how I'm going to make my money. I'm going to train my dog to only attack Godzilla puppets. This is a valid career path. Like,
it is extremely niche, extremely niche,
and it's so petty. And I adore it.
Yeah.
I guess to answer the question about the songs, listen, I guess I would have to go with, if I had to listen to them, if I had to go to a desert island and pick one of those songs, I'd have to take Puff Daddy because I don't want to be like, I don't want to miss a thing while alone on an island. So I would take that. It's a good running song as well. So I'll be running from things on this island.
Right. That's right. I want to fight you. I'm going to bite you.
Yeah, I'll bite you.
Yeah, that's in the background.
No
that's
surprise. Awesome. Close your eyes. Wait, apocalypse. Doesn't he say that?
Probably.
You're bringing it back. Like, I just had a flash in my brain of that song. Just, it all came back to me. I went full Limitless there, and I got a whole flash.
Let's just Skype tomorrow, put that on, and just lift weights and stare intently to the ground. That's all. Yeah, you feel it?
Hey, Mark, what'd you do today? I stared in Norbert's eyes for 2 hours and lifted weights while listening to the Godzilla soundtrack.
Come with me.
I thought you did something weird, Mark. That's normal. Oh, man. But listen, Liv Tyler and Ben Affleck are good together. It grounds it a little bit. It's kind of neat having the whole, like, dad, get many like dad-daughter stories. Like, those are very few in movies. Like, there's just not, it's always like a son and dad. Like, you have a crappy dad and like his son, like, dad issues. But this one's, I don't know, I kind of like their relationship together. And she's kind of like the adult. She calls him Harry, but she's still young enough to like call him that.
And she takes no shit from Bruce Willis, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was her first movie, was it not?
She was.
Yeah.
She was like 21, I think, when it came out.
I think she did Empire Records before this, though, right? Because that was that was 95.
This is a time when, even though Bruce Willis came off a bunch of flops, he still, people consider him a really good actor, and she's just toe to toe with him.
Mm-hmm.
She's really good.
He had to do this like as part of a 3-picture deal that he made with Touchstone.
The kid
this was the one, and the other 2 movies he made were The Sixth Sense and Unbreakable. So we got some pretty good movies out of it, to be honest.
He bounced back. Yeah, that's right. This was the start of the comeback of Bruce, man.
He had a legit run there too, if you think about it, because he was getting off like The Jackal and all those movies, but then he goes Armageddon, and then he does Sixth Sense, and then he had Whole Nine Yards, which was a sleeper hit. I mean, the Whole Nine Yards was a pretty big hit right
Solid
there.
Pick. Solid
So
pick.
like he had a good run for a little while there.
But Liv Tyler gets busy. For what it's worth, Liv Tyler, Incredible Hulk, Edward Norton version, solid Betty Banner.
Yeah,
solid Betty.
I watched that not that long ago, and her performance definitely holds up.
Yeah, she's a solid Betty.
I think they're trying to write her like. I guess she could never really come back for the Hulk movie.
Why not?
I saw that in Korea when I was living out there.
08, baby.
That's right. 08.
Yeah. I think I might have watched that with you, Norbert. We went to like a lot of movies in those days.
I miss you now.
Yeah, for anybody listening, we all lived in Cheongju from I was there from 08 to 09, and we were Road King people, and then Niall got me on a soccer team that I played. And then the other day I found pictures from a mud festival with the 3 of us in it, and I sent them to you guys. And then you made fun of me for actually having photos still.
I'm sorry, man. There were a lot of adult situations, man, and mature themes, So when these pictures come up, I got to protect the potential political career, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you're screwed. Never go for anything big, Norbert. Like, I will burn you.
There's a lot
all over the world on you.
Yeah, man.
I'm kind of worried. I was in a terrible cover band, Norbert, and some guy goes, Mark, if you ever make it, I'm going to share this live recording with the world. And I'm kind of worried because I don't want people hearing my horrible singing voice.
I'm in a ton of cover bands, so.
But no, I mean, I think she's good though, Liv Tyler. She's good as the daughter in a office, just looking bummed out. Like Michael Bay loves having that. Remember in The Rock, you have Vanessa
Claire Forlani.
Yeah. Like Claire Forlani's looking bummed out. Vanessa is in the office looking bummed out. He loves having people looking at computer screens being bummed out in his movies, Michael Bay. But
same president too in The Rock.
What?
Yes, it was.
And then they have, and then like I don't know, they just shot her.
Same universe.
Same universe. That's right. It's the Bay universe. Yeah.
It's gotta be.
It's the same president.
Really?
The same president. Yeah. The same president for The Rock is the president in Armageddon. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
That guy deals with a lot.
He deals a lot of shit. You know. Welcome to The Rock.
We covered that on the. What do you think about the car chase in The Rock, Norbert?
Well, again, you have that weird Michael Bay, too many cuts. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Also, everyone driving the car, really too much steering wheel. Those people should have all died because there's no way their cars would be going straight ever. They're just pulling way too hard on the steering wheel left and right, bro. And the camera, while they're pulling way too hard left and right, the camera's zooming in and out and going left and right. You're going to have a seizure watching The Rock.
That's why I love Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. There's a scene where this kid is driving a submarine and he's just like the steering wheel is just flying all over the place. And then they ADR'd a line later on. She's like, and make sure to steer like a maniac because like that's the only way to keep it straight. Like they had to add that line in later on to do that, and it makes me so happy. But like this movie though, I mean, they added in the love story. A lot of people make fun of the animal cracker scene.
Came from a different movie apparently.
Oh really?
So it was cut from like an earlier movie. Like Affleck says it in his like commentary track as well.
Kramer versus Kramer.
I can't remember which film it was, but it was basically he's like, yeah, whatever writer, like it had like 6 writers or 8 writers or something ridiculous. Like one of them was Abrams.
Yes.
Basically,
A.J. Abrams.
Some like writer had the scene cut from a previous film and he wanted to like get it in, so it kind of got shoehorned in here at the last minute. It's like, let's have this animal crackers bit from like this other movie.
Oh man, I guess, is it a cracker or a cookie?
Animal crackers are crackers because they're called crackers, even though they taste like cookies.
Would that make it Jaffa cake? It's kind of similar to the Jaffa cake argument we have over here.
Uh-oh.
It's a cake because it's called a cake, even though it's more tastes more like a biscuit or a cookie.
It's the 21st century, brother. We are what we identify as. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
See, I always thought it was a cookie. But another thing I want to bring up, there's an oral history of Michael Bay, which if you type in oral history of Michael Bay, you should really read it because people just, they talk about Michael Bay very interestingly, and I love it. But Billy Bob Thornton, he said something kind of good about Armageddon. He's like, you know what sets Armageddon apart from a lot of those big splashy movies? It's actually pretty good. He's like, I mean, people love the movie. It's kind of an American favorite. One of my lines is, I don't know if you call it iconic, but when I'm talking to the president, he says, how big are we talking here? And I say, it's the size of Texas, Mr. President. But yeah, that's what's good about Armageddon, right? You're right, Norbert. It's wildly silly. But I think it's still good. I mean, there's just awesome. And I also love how everything that can go wrong does go wrong. You have the space station blowing up. And then you have a ship crashing. And then you have them going 27 miles away from where they're actually going. It's one of those. And then you have Bruce Willis almost like barely being able to blow up the asteroid before it hits 0% because he gets blown up in the air. Yeah. It's one of those movies that just it does a good job of ratcheting up the tension. And the weakest part for me, though, is I was watching this again. I don't know how you two felt about this, but the whole bit with the nuclear warhead, with William Fichtner, with Billy Bob Thornton, with Keith David, with the military people, with the arguments aboard the ship. I didn't blow it up. Oh, don't blow it up. I feel like it didn't take that long because it's a Michael Bay film, but it felt like it dragged on for about 20 minutes too long. Do you all like that part? I think
this movie is long. Like I watched it. Yeah. Just before, this morning I watched it again just as a refresher. I'm like at my freshest coming into this. and it's 2 hours 30 minutes long. Like this is a long